I'll start. So the way I plan on doing this is I have a short presentation that I've created for you guys. I'll just go through it. I'll try to be as swift as possible in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Then I can always open the floor for question and answer, because from experience, I've realized that there are some questions that you can't capture all in the presentation. So is that an okay format? Are you guys comfortable with that? Am I audible? Can somebody just confirm that I'm audible? Lest I'm speaking.
Yes, you're audible. We can hear you.
Thanks, Buto.
All right.
Absolutely. So I think we can get going. So I'm going to share my screen. So I'm sure you guys, you can now see my screen. Can somebody confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your
Yes, we
screen.
can see it. We can see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. So I think we'll get started. So basically, the reason why we are having this CFA Access Scholarship Information Session is to just share information with those guys either who want to write the CFA exam for the first time, or those who are already graduates of another level who still want to get a scholarship for their fees to be reduced so that they can write the exam. So basically, I'll be just sharing what I know, what I've researched, and the experience that I've got applying for the Access Scholarship in the 3 or 4 times that I've done so. So as a starting point, we'll go through general information that I think is very important for everyone to just know. So the first thing is that the window opened on 24 January, which is yesterday, and will run up to 24 February. So during that period, anytime you can log into your portal and you can submit your application for the CFA Access Scholarship, specifically the Access Scholarship. And once you do that, you should expect a decision from the institution no later than 5 April 2024. So somebody was asking, is it possible for me to apply this year and sit this year? So absolutely, yes, it's possible. By 5 April 2024, you will get a response from the CFA Institute. And if you would have gotten the scholarship, you will still be eligible to apply to register for the August exam and the November exam. So for those who are taking the level 3, you will be able to sit for the August exam. Those who are taking level 2, you'll be able to sit for either the August or the November exam, and the same for those who want to sit for level 1. So to apply, you log in and complete an application process. So I often hear a lot of questions about this. So for especially those who are starting, you need to.
I'm looking for $20. Let's get the news.
Apologies for that. So for those who are applying for the first time who do not have an account with CFA, you need to go on the CFA website and create an account. This account will be very important because you will be using it throughout, even when you sit for the exams. So you need to make sure that you create your account. Whilst you are in your account, you need to go on search. This is what I believe is the easiest way for you to apply for the scholarship. Then you search for scholarship from there. May I kindly ask Daniel to mute and everyone else? Thank you. So you need to log into your account, then you will go on the search button, then you search Access Scholarship. I think from there, that's the easiest route that can take you to the portal where you actually be able to apply your scholarship from. So one thing that's also important for you to note is that the decision by the CFA Institute will be final. So once the CFA Institute tells you that congratulations, you've gotten the scholarship, or unfortunately, we regret to inform you that you did not get the scholarship, that's final. There is no appeal or what, so their decision is just final. And if an applicant registered for the CFA program whilst their application is pending, they will have demonstrated their ability to pay the examination fees and their scholarship application will be void. So what does this mean? So let's say I apply for a scholarship today, then I become so impatient, sometime in May, I decide to register for the full fees without the scholarship. What this means is that you have demonstrated to the CFA Institute that you have enough financial muscle to pay for the exam, and you'll be automatically disqualified. So I would urge everyone, it's very important, once you apply for a scholarship, wait for the deadline, which is 5 April, for you to get a response before you can register for the exam. You just need to make sure that you are patient enough to wait for that, or else you'll be disqualified. So upon receiving the scholarship, your exam will be reduced from $940 to $300, and the enrollment fee of $350 will be waived for those taking level 1 for the first time. So if you've gone through the CFA website, you'd see that if you are doing what they call early registration, for each level, you have to pay $940. But if you get the scholarship, that amount will be reduced to only $300. Those who've gotten the scholarship in the past, it used to be $250 for the Access Scholarship, but it's now $300. And for those who are sitting for level 1 for the first time, if you don't get a scholarship, you'll be required to pay an enrollment fee of $350. But if you get the scholarship, it will also be removed completely. So all you will need to pay if you get the scholarship is just $300, and you are ready to go. So which makes so much sense, especially considering that we are in Zimbabwe, which is a low income. And I would like to imagine that some of the people who I'm talking to here are probably in their final years or just started working. So which makes the CFA scholarship the most ideal route for you to enroll for the CFA program. If you apply for the CFA scholarship and you fail to get it, you will still be able to pay the early registration fee even if the deadline is passed. So like I mentioned, the $940 is only for those who register early in what's called early registration. If you miss the early registration date, you will have to pay an even higher amount. I think it's 1,200. I'm not too sure about the number. I've never paid that amount because I've always written on scholarship in all the attempts that I've written. So which really makes sense for you to apply for the scholarship, such that even if you don't get it, you will still have to pay the $940, which is the early registration. So let's say, for example, you don't have the $940 to pay before the deadline, but you want to pay the $940. A way to extend your period is to apply for the scholarship, such that automatically you'll be able to pay at most the $950, which is why applying for this scholarship makes so much sense. Moving on. So some important points to also note is that the scholarship may not be sold, transferred, deferred, or assigned, and is not convertible to cash. So one of the questions that you hear is someone saying, if I get the scholarship, will I be in a position to convert that scholarship into cash so that I can get money? Or can I transfer it to someone? Or can I sell it to someone? All those are strictly not allowed. The scholarship is for you and you alone if you get the scholarship. So the scholarship recipient consent to his or her pass or fail results being shared with the society from which he or she receives the scholarship. And this is very important information to consider for those who are applying for the scholarship. If you are someone who really doesn't want their information to be shared about, perhaps it's something that you want to consider in your decision making. But in all honesty, I've never seen the CFA Institute or the societies publishing results, but it's something that's written in the rules, which I felt is very important for me to just articulate and highlight. So if a recipient registers for an exam which he or she receives scholarship and fails to appear for that exam, he or she might be ineligible to receive future scholarships. So this is very important. You need to make sure that you are ready to write the exam. No chances, please. Because if you apply for a scholarship and you get it and you register for the exam and not show up, you might impede your chances of getting the scholarship in the future. So just make sure that you are ready to write for the scholarship. Recipients are provided a defined window of time in which they must enroll for one of the designated CFA program exam offerings listed in the scholarship email award. So when you then get your scholarship, you are told that this scholarship can apply if it's level 1, for example. You are told it can apply for February exam, the May exam, the August exam, and the November exam. So you have to pick which exam that you want to sit using that scholarship, and it will then expire after that. So it's also something that's important. So if you are not too sure that you want to sit for the exam or not, I would really recommend that you don't apply for the scholarship until you are now very certain that you want to sit for the exam. You may not submit a scholarship application if you have already registered for an upcoming CFA program exam. And this is mainly for those who are now taking their level 2 or level 3 exams. So usually what tends to happen, because CFA scholarships have windows that they open. So let's say we are in November and you are going to sit for the November exam, or you have set for the November exam, but you have not yet received your results, meaning technically you are still a candidate. You cannot apply for another scholarship. You can only apply for a scholarship when you have either when you have never set for the exam or when you have set for the exam and received the results. So as long as you are a candidate, you cannot apply for the scholarship. And this is very important. So if you then make a mistake of applying for a scholarship before you receive your results or before you sit for an exam, you automatically disqualify yourself for the scholarship in the future. So I think this is very important information that people need to just know before they apply for the scholarship. So when you then do the actual process of applying for the scholarship, you realize that you'll be asked to write 2 essays. It used to be 1 essay, but there are now 2 essays. And I've just highlighted the questions that you'll be asked so that you really prepare on them. So the new formats of the Access Scholarship now require you to type in. So it's type in as opposed to uploading a document. 2 essays responding to the following question. So the first question that they will ask you is, what prompted you to apply for this scholarship? And the next question is, how will receiving a scholarship make a difference in your pursuit of the CFA designation? So these are the 2 essays that you have to write, roughly at most 500 words, 250 each, as you apply for the scholarship. And I've just put some points underneath which I feel like are very important for you to consider as you write your essays in applying for the scholarship. So the first thing is you need to demonstrate your academic, professional, and any other achievements. Remember, you're competing with people from around the world. So you need to show them that you have a really good academic standing. So perhaps it could be in your undergrad. If you have already graduated, you need to tell them your degree class or some of the courses that you have excelled, which speaks to why you want to pursue the CFA program or any other professional courses. Because remember, the CFA is open to people from those who are on attachment, if you are talking about Zimbabwean universities, to anyone who's working with an undergraduate degree. So you need to talk about your professional or any other achievements. Make sure you let them know that you are the most competent candidate to receive this scholarship. So you also need to outline obstacles that you have overcome and how you managed to do that. So for example, you had a challenge, perhaps in your academic life or in your professional life. You need to highlight that and then also tell them how you managed to overcome that. So it's more of storytelling, making sure that you make them believe that you are the best candidate to get the CFA scholarship. You also need to clearly explain how enrolling in the CFA program will enhance your skills and ultimate benefit, not only to you, but to the people around you. So if you've ever read the CFA ethics, you hear they talk about for the ultimate benefit of the society. So in this scenario, you need to stop thinking only about you, but also the people around you. If you pursue the CFA program, how is that going to affect those people? Perhaps you're a breadwinner in your family. If you pursue the CFA program, what are the chances that it will improve even your remuneration, and how will that affect the people maybe at your home or even in the community, that kind of thing. You also need to convince them that you are not capable of paying the full fees on your own and would like to pursue the program. And I think this is one of the most important things because the CFA access is for those who cannot pay the examination fees, which speaks to why I mentioned earlier that if you demonstrate that you are capable of paying the fees, you automatically be disqualified. So you need to tell them that, yes, I want to pursue the CFA program, but because of the economic conditions in my country or where I work, I cannot afford to pay the full fees. So you also need to highlight some characteristics that indicate why you should be considered for the scholarship. So these are more personal things that you feel like you have done that propels the institute and those who are grading to want to give you the scholarship. So I think in a nutshell, this is one I wanted to share with you. We have a problem with people who are muting. I've been trying to mute them throughout the presentation. But I think at this point, I'll be able to open for questions. Anyone who has questions relating to either what I've presented or anything regarding the CFA scholarship. Thank you. So you can just unmute, perhaps say your name and ask your question.
Good day, how are you? My name is Butungabe.
Hi, Bodo.
Hi, how are you? I have a question. If you previously applied for the scholarship last window, and you didn't get it, does it improve or increase the chances of getting it this time, or are you able to apply again?
Okay, thanks, Wuto. So your chances of getting scholarship are independent from each other. So it doesn't really matter whether you've gotten it before or you failed to get it before. So they judge you based on what you have applied that time. So for example, I've gotten the Access Scholarship, I think 3 times. I once applied for a student scholarship whilst I was on attachment. I failed to get it. So yes, you can get it or fail to get it. It has no correlation with what has happened in the past. Yeah, thank you. I hope you are answered.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, Rufaro.
Hi.
How are you? My name is Edith Kwasira. So I want to ask, is it possible to apply for 2 scholarships at the same time? Like there's a window for women as well. So is it possible to apply both? And also, are you able to review our essays before submitting?
Okay, thanks. So by 2 scholarships, if you mean 2 different scholarships, yes, you can apply for the women's scholarship and the Access Scholarship or the student scholarship at the same time, but you only get at most 1. So you can't get both or more than that. At most, you only get 1 of those scholarships. And in terms of reviewing, to be quite honest and blunt, I cannot. This is a conversation that you are having with the institute. And to be quite honest, you shouldn't even share it with anyone. It's a conversation that you and the institute are having. So I wouldn't be able to review scholarship, your essays for you. But perhaps you can find someone that can help you, perhaps with things like grammar, that kind of thing. But it's really a conversation that you and the institute are having. I hope I've answered
Thank you so
you.
much. Yes. Thank you.
Welcome, Edith. I'm still taking questions.
Hi, Rufaro.
Hi, Uto.
Hi, how are you? I have one more question. What increases your chances for getting the scholarship? Mostly from your experience.
To be quite honest, I've always done what I talked about here. Demonstrate that I'm deserving of a scholarship through things that I've done, be it academic, professional wise. I've shown them that I need the scholarship. Without the scholarship, I won't be in a position to be able to write the exam. And funny enough, I've gotten the scholarship a number of times. So I really believe in the things that I'm talking about here, and I think they have helped me to get the scholarship a number of times. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rufaro.
Hi, is that Chioma? Hey. I'm not sure who's that. May you kindly mute if you're not the one who's speaking? Yeah, thanks. You can go ahead. There was somebody who wanted to ask a question where it said, hi, Rufaro. I'm sure you can go ahead now. Mtabisi. Are there any other questions? Perhaps this is an indication that all have been answered. I'm not sure if I was audible enough. Unfortunately, with people who wouldn't mute their mics to such an extent that it disturbed, but I really hope that you had. I'll be able to share the presentation with those who want to go through it further, and I'll be able to answer more questions. I'll also upload this recording. But if we still have people with questions, I'll be happy to answer them on this platform right now. I trust I can see your hand is up.
Hi. I just needed to scholarships awarded to Zimbabwean students, just to know how many scholarships we can chance to get.
Okay, so there are a number of scholarship. Thanks for the question, Trust. There are a number of scholarship. Top of my head, I know of the access, which is why I specifically targeted this discussion to be around the access scholarship, because everyone can be able to apply for the Access Scholarship. But if you are a female, you can also be able to apply for the Women's Scholarship like Edith talked about. There is also the Student Scholarship. So one of the mistakes that I did was to apply for the Student Scholarship. And thank you brought that question. Please never apply for the Student Scholarship, because the Student Scholarship is for affiliated universities. And in Zimbabwe, as far as I know, there is no university that is affiliated to the CFA. So it's more like an automatic rejection. So I once applied for that, and I learned the hard way. So for the Access Scholarship, I know that we are all able and eligible to apply for that, which is why I specifically named it the Access Scholarship. I could have just said this the CFA scholarship. And with the women's scholarship, just from experience, from fellows that I've talked with, the chances of getting it, this might not be factual, but this is what I've gathered just talking to people, are very slim. So almost everyone who I know who's written on scholarship, it was the Access Scholarship, which is why I would really recommend that you do the Access Scholarship. There's also, I think, Professor Scholarship. If you are a professor at a university, I think you can apply for the Professor Scholarship. But one thing that you also realize is that the Access Scholarship is the cheapest. Traditionally, you would have to pay 250. Right now, you now have to pay 300. And I think all the other scholarships, you now have to pay 350, if I'm not mistaken. I hope you were answered.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure. Any more questions? Going once? Twice? So thank you very much for attending. I think we did justice, and I hope if you had questions, they've been answered in helping you to make a decision. For those who are trying to write for the level 1 for the first time, especially those who are in Zimbabwe, I would really, really encourage you to apply for the CFA scholarship. What you realize is that your probability of getting the scholarship is probably higher than you would have thought. So I would really recommend that you apply and write the CFA level 1, maybe in your final year or your first year after finishing university. If we have students who are on attachment, I think this is the perfect time for you to write your CFA level 1, because you still have time on your hand before you go to your final year. So if we have students here, the CFA recently allowed anyone who still has 2 years before they graduate to sit for the CFA level 1. So if we have students who are on attachment, I think this is the perfect time, because what you also realize is that CFA is really, really demanding in terms of the amount of time that you have to put to make sure that you clear the exams. So you want to do this before you have a lot of responsibilities at work. So I'm really happy that you joined this webinar. And I really hope that if you had questions, they were answered. And I really think that if you gained 1 or 2 things that are going to help you in your application process. I'm always passionate about talking about the CFA program. My inbox is always open, and I always talk to people about the CFA program, and I give them connections to other people who are also sitting for the CFA program, so that they will be able to leverage each other's strengths in terms of studying and that kind of thing. So I wish you all the best in your CFA journey, and I hope that you make it. I think from me, that's all. If there is anyone with something that they want to say, I'll allow them before I close off the webinar.
Hi, Rufaro.
Hi, who's this?
It's Buto.
Hi, Vuto.
You said your inbox is always open. How do we contact you? Your contact
Okay.
details.
Okay. I think if you can come to my inbox on LinkedIn, I use Rufaro Rogero on LinkedIn. I can give you my number.
All right,
And
Rufaro, sure. Okay, thank you so much.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, so I think this is a good time for us to stop. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much for this presentation.
Sure.